coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News Nowcast.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Haley Potter. Thanks for joining us for tonight's edition of the Erie News Nowcast. Case and vaccine numbers are holding steady across our region. As of today, our region has vaccinated almost 175,000 people. That translates out to be about 56% of adults. Meantime, the state is reporting that about 64% of adults have been vaccinated. The latest batch of state data shows that it's mostly older people that are fully vaccinated. This data is combined with Erie, Crawford, and Warren counties. The most vaccinated group of people are ages 70 to 74. We have all this latest data and COVID-19 information on our website, erienewsnow.com. Meantime, a CDC advisory committee is recommending that people with compromised immune systems get a third shot of the COVID-19 vaccine. The committee is recommending the additional shot in people with moderate to severe immunosuppression. That includes organ transplant recipients, cancer patients undergoing treatment, or people with immunodeficiency syndrome. The decision came hours after the FDA authorized the third shot with either the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines. The agency says the third dose should be given at least 28 days after a second shot, and it should also be the same one that was previously used if possible. According to the CDC, roughly 7 million Americans are immunocompromised. With high school sports just 2 weeks away, players and coaches say they are not concerned about playing under COVID-19 restrictions if they were to be implemented. Remembering last year's COVID sporting guidelines, players and coaches say it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to play under restrictions again. However, the focus now is on preparing for the season. Athletes tell us they feel they have an experience on how to stay healthy while competing, and this year's preparation is no different.
A little bit. I mean, last year with COVID, we had a 2-week shutdown with a little COVID spike or whatever, but it's kind of the same, you know. We've been putting the work in the weight room, same as it was last year.
And teams officially begin camp next week with the first game of the season just 2 weeks from today. The 2020 census could end up costing Erie County millions of dollars in federal funding. With a population of roughly 95,000 people, Erie County has dropped to the 5th largest city in Pennsylvania. We fell behind Allentown last census, and now we've dropped below. In the census found the city lost about 7,000 people, a decline of nearly 7% since 2010. The county's population also declined by 10,000 people over the past decade, bringing the total to 270,000. As for the census, 73% of Erie County residents self-responded to the survey, so census workers had to reach out to nearly a quarter of Erie's population.
We know that on average in Pennsylvania, each person brings in about $2,100 a year every year for 10 years, you know, based on those census numbers. So a decline could certainly mean a reduction in federal funding to our area.
Meanwhile, Mayor Joe Schember tells Erie News Now there was a lack of good census reporting on the city's east side, so he will most likely challenge those numbers. New information tonight about a local animal hoarding case. Animal enforcement officers are working on more potential charges for an Erie woman accused of hoarding more animals, just months after dozens were taken from her home. And now officers say they believe they know where she was getting these animals from. Our Kara Coleman reports.
It's a busy day here at the Erie Humane Society as officials continue to take in and process the 22 animals taken from the Lighthouse Street home on Thursday. They include rabbits, guinea pigs, rats, and kittens. Now, as we told you, they come from the home of 76-year-old Diane Eggleston, who's already facing those 90 animal cruelty and neglect charges from back in May. Officials say they took 46 animals from her home then, and now they're in the process of filing more potential charges. Officials here at the Humane Society also say they believe Eggleston was getting this new crop of animals from Craigslist and say it's a good reminder to always do your homework when trying to rehome an animal.
We always ask, if you're looking to rehome an animal, try a shelter. You know, there's numerous shelters in the area. I know sometimes we're full and it may be a few days where we can take something in, but you know, look for a shelter because we really do our homework when we look to where we put animals. A lot of time these people think that they're taking animals from a bad situation and helping them, when in fact they are just putting them in sometimes worse situations than when they have gotten the animals and tried to help them.
Eggleston is out of jail on bond. She's back at home, and we're told conditions of that bond is that she no longer have any animals animals in her care. Kara Coleman, Erie News Now.
And the Erie Humane Society says they are in need of some items to help take care of these new animals. They include rabbit food, large rabbit enclosures, cat food, and paper towels. A complete list can be found on our website, erienewsnow.com. And new today, the Game Commission has lifted its recommendation to not feed birds. In a news release, the Game Commission said there's been a decrease in reports of sick and dead wild birds. The commission says there's still a lot of unknowns when it comes to the illness, but research is showing there's no indication feeding birds or keeping bird baths filled were contributing factors. Lots of family-friendly activities are planned for tomorrow in downtown Erie as it's 814 Day. It was known as Celebrate Erie in the past, but the pandemic threw a wrench in that plan, which is why it has evolved into the 814 Day. It's a day where you get to get out and experience everything the city of Erie has to offer. You're able to complete a scavenger hunt and bucket list with 81 different checkpoints. You can visit areas around the city to immerse yourself in all that Erie has to offer. Starting at 3 on Saturday, live local bands will entertain in 5 different parks around the city, including Perry Square, Griswold, Roger Young, and Washington Park. These bands end at 9, then it's family movie night in Frontier and McClellan parks. Thanks for joining us for the Erie News Nowcast. Join us for our next news at 10 p.m. on the CW and 11 p.m. on WICU and WSEE. Have a great night and a great weekend.